Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of NAHL Coaches Corner. I'm Alex Kyrias. Today we are joined by the head coach of the Johnstown Tomahawks, Mr. Mike Letizia. Mike, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for asking, and thank you for joining us here on another edition of NAHL Coaches Corner. Mike, I wanted to jump right into the last 3 months. It's obviously been something that nobody's ever seen before. Very few hockey coaches have had to deal with what those in the NHL and around the hockey community have had to deal with, which is, basically getting ready for a weekend of games, to canceling the season, to saying goodbye to a group of players that was part of a team that was going to make a Robertson Cup run, or at least a deep run into the playoffs, to preparing for an upcoming season. All of that has happened in the last 90 days. How can you sum it up?
Yeah, it's been crazy. I say it all the time. It's like the middle of June here, and it feels like we should be starting the season because we've been gone for so long. But yeah, it was tough for us. I remember the day exactly. We had a home series against Wilkes-Barre, and the big thing for us that weekend was our captain Chris Trouba was expected to return from his injury on Friday, and we got the call on Thursday that things were going to be paused for a bit, and obviously it was pretty devastating. And we let it play out for the weekend, and the guys came back on Monday, and at the time we just kind of said, it might be best just to head home and until we kind of wait and see what all goes on. And we hadn't canceled anything yet, but it was obviously. When you saw everything that was going on, it seemed like it could definitely be inevitable, and for the safety of everybody. So it was really tough, for all of our 20-year-olds or 2000s who are going into school this year, to not be able to have the chance to compete, like you said, for the playoff, obviously in the playoffs, and for a potential Robertson Cup. And our team was having a lot of success at that point. I think we had won 8 in a row going into that shutdown. So we felt really, really good about things. We were getting guys back healthy, and unfortunately, just in the circumstances didn't fall into favor for anybody. But we understood the situation, and now we're looking forward to the upcoming year.
Well, it wasn't all bad, obviously, for the Johnstown Tomahawks. Had another great year at the box office, great fan support there in Johnstown, and another great year for NCAA commitments. The aforementioned Chris Trouba ended up with one. You had another really, really good year with several players making Division I commitments following that league trend. I wanted to touch on the commitments here quickly. You as a coach, obviously that, in speaking to our coaches, is the number one goal, is the advancement onto the NCAA. And I'm wondering, as a coach, what is it on a daily basis, weekly basis, yearly basis that you are doing to try and make sure that every one of your players comes away with some type of NCAA commitment?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously huge. I think that the ability to move guys on to the next level is something that we take a lot of pride in, and we put a lot of work into. It's such a joyous and rewarding time when you see those kids get to the next level and realize their dreams and get that commitment that they've been working hard for. Not only in our league, obviously, but when they were kids growing up, and then they come to our league, and they realize how awesome the NHL is in terms of advancing players to the next level, and how much league-wide promotion. But then on the ground level, it is really a 24/7, 365 day year thing, and it's a lot of fun. It's building your networks and building relationships with college coaches that will obviously trust in what you're going to tell them, and trust the information you give them on players, and constantly staying in communication with them, whether it's via phone, email, text message, making sure they're at the games, or if they're not able to make it physically, making sure they're getting the information they need or watching on hockey TV, and just making sure that our guys are promoted as much as we possibly can. And we've been fortunate, and the other thing is, here we try to make sure not only do we recruit good hockey players, but we recruit good kids. You got to have good character, and something you can put your organization's reputation on the line when you move kids on. And we've had a lot of good kids come through here and earn opportunities, and we'll never stop doing our best to try to get them there.
You're going to be losing quite a few big pieces from this last year's team. The league MVP, Christian Gorshak, among a handful of players that will be moving on to the NCAA, had a great list of guys that accomplished a lot this past year. I know that the first thing besides the tenders in building a roster for this upcoming season was the supplemental draft just over a month ago. And I'm wondering your thoughts behind the supplemental draft, how it went. What do you think it had accomplished for you?
Yeah, like you said, with how many guys we are losing, it's quite an important offseason for us to reload the team. And for us in our supplemental draft, we did obviously take some guys with experience. We've been fortunate here the last couple seasons for players who maybe had some experience in their leagues, but knew the NHL was a league that could help maximize their exposure to the Division I level. And if you look at our last couple of seasons, the guys have done that have been very successful for us on the ice, but also were able to get themselves a commitment by playing in this league. So, we have a few players that we draft that we're very excited about in that supplemental draft, all three of them, and guys that fit that mold that hopefully will come in and make immediate impacts for our team, help us on the ice, and ultimately, hopefully we can goes hand in hand and we can help them get their dream at the next level as well.
Mike, give us a snapshot of currently what's happening in your area. Are things opening up, and are you guys preparing for those all-important tryout camps coming up?
Yeah, we've been, all things considered, a little bit, I've been lucky in Johnstown. Fortunately, the county, Cambria County, the case count, wasn't too devastating. So the state of Pennsylvania, obviously, did a really hardworking job to make sure we follow all the guidelines to help reduce the cases and work our way back to hopefully more normalcy. So our county's in what the governor considers a green phase, which is obviously red, yellow, green. Green being the best of the situation right now in terms of having things open. Obviously a lot of restrictions still, but pretty much things are open. Youth sports are started. My daughter's softball team started a couple weeks ago, so that's exciting to get back out in the field. And then, for us, we have 3 pre-draft camps coming up in July. We're super excited about all 3 of those, and then ultimately our main camp at the end of the month in Johnstown. So it feels really good to have that excitement, about being able to get back to the rinks and all the players that'll be coming. And like you said, we have so many holes to fill in our team and so many roster spots open that these camps are going to be even greater importance than they ever have been, with especially the way that things ended, the recruiting process being a little bit shortened with the shutdown. So these pre-draft camps are going to be pretty crucial for the Johnstown Tomahawks this year.
That's really well said, of the importance of the tryout camps with the shortened window of the recruiting thing, and most coaches have said, the tryout camps this year are more important than ever to NAHL teams. And I'm wondering, as you look back on tryout camps, is there a particular story that you remember, a player coming out of one of your tryout camps, wasn't tendered, wasn't drafted, but showed up at a camp, made an impression, had success in the league, and went to move on?
Yeah, we've had a lot. I could probably really quickly just a few, if you don't mind, that I could think of all the time. First one I think of right away, Logan Hudson, a few years ago, played for the West Michigan Hounds, obviously an old team in the league, but he came to our camp twice, made an impression, didn't quite make it, and then later that season we had a bunch of injuries, and I remember we brought Huddy in as an affiliate player, and he never left Johnstown. And later on, he became the captain of our team, and he actually scored the overtime winner in the first ever playoff series in Johnstown. So sometimes those stories are just remarkable. And then, Nick Bruce came to a camp a few years ago. We ended up drafting him. He's at RIT right now, was one of the top scorers in the league this year. Carter McPhail last year came to a camp, 2 years ago came to a camp, was our goalie. Now he's at Ferry State. And, their story, obviously, Christian Gorshak, league MVP this year. He was a young kid, came to our pre-draft camp, wasn't quite ready, but came as a youngster, get on our radar, start building the network, the relationship, came back again, and we ended up tendering him, made Johnstown, and obviously was the league's MVP, leading scorer this year. So, there's so many different ways that these trial camps are valuable, and I think that's the way you have to approach them all. There's an immediate need. There's younger guys that make that impact, and you can track their progress, and they're awesome. And, for our staff, we hold them to a super high regard.
Mike, last question for you. You've been coaching in this league a while now. You've seen it as a assistant and now as a head coach for quite a good period of time. And I'm wondering, as you look back on your career and you look ahead, what do you believe are the one or two things that really make you enjoy coaching in the NAHL?
There's probably not one or two. I honestly feel very honored to be in this league. I was a USA Hockey born player when I was a kid growing up, and you always look at the junior level and you realize how prestigious it was. And now I feel very honored to coach in this league. It's one of the best junior hockey leagues that ever was formed and will ever be. And the amount of players that come through here are incredible. And being around these great coaches, the other coaches, and I enjoy the camaraderie amongst us, but also the competition. And like I said, I'm just very honored and thankful for the Bouchard family in Johnstown and the NHL to allow me to do this. And it's very rewarding to be around the players and to build their relationships. And like I said, see them move on to the next level. And being able to coach in Johnstown I'm very fortunate, and a great fan base there and organization. So hockey has given me pretty much everything in my entire life, and I'm just very fortunate to be a part of this league and hopefully get back to the game that gave me so much.
Well said, Mike. We hope for your safety here coming up. Wish you guys and the Tomahawks the best of luck in your upcoming tryout camps, and we look forward to talking with you again, hopefully on draft day, and then we hope to see you in September for the start of the 2021 season. So thank you again for doing this.
All right, thank you. Can't wait. Take care, Alex.
All right, that's Mike Letizia here on another edition of NAHL Coaches Corner.